Donald Trump believes in traditional national hegemony. This is the sniper position of interstellar warfare. The reality is first come, all the first served. Oil, natural gas will instantly become irrelevant. After discussing the sci-fi survival story Project Hail Mary, I suddenly realized, in the real world, humanity is actually at a similar turning point. But before we start, if you don't mind, please subscribe to this video. It keeps me motivated to create similar or other types of content. In the movie, the protagonist survives in space, using science and logic. But today, in 2026, humanity's greatest real-life adventure
2, 1, booster ignition, and liftoff. The crew of Artemis 2 now bound for the
is the Artemis Program. You might ask, what exactly is Artemis? In Greek mythology, Artemis is the moon goddess. She is the twin sister of Apollo. 50 years ago, the US moon mission was called Apollo. 50 years later, returning to the moon, they named it after his sister, named Artemis. The plan is very clear. It's no longer about just visiting and grabbing a few rocks. It is about building a permanent base on the moon for long-term human habitation and resource development. From fiction to reality, the administrative and economic logic of this race is more profound than any novel. The last time humans walked on the moon was back in 1972. This 50-year stagnation stemmed from Cold War administrative logic. At its peak, the Apollo program consumed 4% of the US federal budget. In modern management, that amount is a completely unsustainable budget. But as we know, after the Soviet Union collapsed, the US lost its external pressure. Budgets shifted towards social welfare. But the deeper reason became an administrative burden where failure wasn't allowed. During the Apollo era, under Cold War thinking, society accepted the sacrifices of pioneers. But in today's politics, one live broadcast failure or astronaut casualty could destroy a government's approval rating. This risk-averse institutional inertia caused 50 years of technological stagnation until Elon Musk's SpaceX arrived. Using vertical integration and rocket recovery, they slashed launch costs by 90%, reducing it from tens of thousands of dollars per kilogram to just hundreds or a few thousand. When costs collapse, business logic works and administrative deadlocks break. In strategy, high ground represents physical potential and information vision. The moon is Earth's only eternal natural satellite. But the high ground isn't the lunar surface itself, it's the 5 gravitational balance points between Earth and Moon. The Lagrange points. What are their physical properties? Earth's gravity and the Moon's gravity cancel each other out at these exact spots, specifically the L1 point between Earth and Moon, and the L2 point behind the far side of the Moon. Whoever controls these points can deploy monitoring satellites with very little fuel. Control L1, and you control the toll booth between Earth and Moon. Control L2, and you can host deep space telescopes or communication relays to Earth. These are the sniper positions in interstellar conflict. Occupying them means occupying communication hegemony in cislunar space. This reminds me of my student days at H studying the history of the Suez Canal. He who controls the canal controls trade. He who controls the Lagrange points controls the lifeline of global communications.
It marks an important step in returning American astronauts to the moon for the first time since 1972.
Trump restarted the program to reclaim a symbol of American greatness. But Elon Musk is the man with the rocket keys. The potential conflict between them lies in one ultimate question: who truly represents humanity?
This time we won't just leave footprints, we'll establish a permanent presence on the moon, and we'll push on to Mars.
Trump follows traditional national hegemony. He wants the US flag on the moon. But Musk believes in interstellar governance and capital sovereignty. I'm not just saying this. Look at the Starlink terms of service, specifically Section 9. The parties recognize Mars as a free planet, and that no Earth-based government has authority or sovereignty over Martian activities. In legal documents, he has excluded Earth governments from sovereignty over Mars. In other words, the government wants Musk to be a submissive supplier, but Musk wants to be an interstellar governor with independent lawmaking powers. This struggle between administrative power and tech capital will soon change humanity's social contracts forever. Why do I say the moon is the energy bank for the next 10,000 years? The core is a very rare isotope, helium. Helium-3 on Earth is almost zero, because our magnetic field and atmosphere block the solar wind. But the moon has no atmosphere. Over billions of years, it has accumulated over 1 million tons. 1 million tons of helium-3. Just 100 tons of helium could power the entire world for a whole year. Nuclear fusion of helium-3 and deuterium is extremely efficient. More importantly, it produces no radioactive neutron byproduct. What does this mean? It means fusion reactors can be smaller and much safer. Imagine if you control helium-3, all the oil, natural gas, and Middle East tensions lose all meaning instantly. I used to trade oil futures. I actually traded them before. What mattered? Production levels and geopolitical risk. But helium-3 turns scarce energy into an infinite resource. This shift will format the global financial system. Every oil-based currency will collapse in an instant. Current competition is focused on the lunar South Pole, because in its permanently shadowed regions lies the most critical survival resource, water, ice. In the vacuum of space, water is more precious than gold. Electrolysis turns water into oxygen to breathe, and can also create liquid hydrogen, oxygen fuel. Moon's gravity is only 1/6 of Earth's, with zero air resistance, meaning if you build a gas station on the moon, the cost of going to Mars drops by over 90%. Although the 1967 Outer Space Treaty states no nation can claim sovereignty over outer space. But Article 6 also says nations bear responsibility for their activities in space. This creates a legal vacuum. I'm not occupying the land, I'm just using the resources. What does that mean? Reality is first come, first served. If you build a nuclear-powered base at the South Pole, you effectively own the extraction rights to the water ice nearby. Aerospace breakthroughs eventually enter our lives through tech transfer. Your sneaker cushioning, phone sensors, and medical equipment are all byproducts of the space industry. But technology is a double-edged sword. It makes global surveillance and precision strikes unavoidable. If a country can deploy kinetic weapons, rods from God in lunar orbit, traditional missile defense systems become useless at speeds exceeding Mach 10. These weapons are impossible to intercept. If Earth's resources run dry before we reach the moon, humanity will destroy itself through internal conflict. We are in a race against time. Will technology break through first, or will conflict cause us to collapse? I'm currently unwell. My speech and movements have slowed, but my mind is still working. My teachers at HKU taught me to observe the world from many dimensions. When I look at the moon, I see the flow of power and the survival of civilization. This video is just the beginning. I will continue using my brain to observe this era for you. Thank you all. See you next time.